All right, we are here and it is live, and we are here with the first Society Summit. And I'm dancing in the light a little bit, shadow and light, very apropos for our time today. This is the intention setting, and we are here to envision and really set the tone for the rest of the week. Yes! And of course, today was more full than I imagined, and I already pictured we'd have more da 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 and da da da. But the truth is, we're ready to rock this. Everyone in this society is super ready already. So, whether you're watching this on the replay and maybe this is the first time you're joining something in this society, welcome. I want to open this sacred space with a little bit of Kuan Yin. She's the goddess of compassion. Let's fix her jewels. And I want to bring in compassion for all of us, for the way we see ourselves, the way we think about ourselves, what we think we're capable of, our self-limitations. And I want to bring her in to guide us to let all of that shit go. And I light this sacred candle, which smells amazing, to bring in the light that each of us bring to the table. And let's kick it off. Okay, so let's just talk a little bit about beauty and creativity and how we take things that go from the abstract and the nebulous and make them concrete. Whether it's a song, a poem, an art piece, theater, whatever, a design, whatever it is, how do we take a concept and make it real? So this is something that not everybody considers. This is something that people want to do, but if you have a boss, or somebody telling you what to do, then you just get to be the worker. Some people are very happy doing this, and it's okay. But doing that for a very long time kills the daydreamer in you, kills the daydreamer in me. And so taking something that's a creative concoction and making it something real is not just. It's a huge leap of faith. And what I want to share is we're all problem solvers. And so what we're talking about this whole week is like, who cares? Making something, doing something, creating something, just for fuck's sake of it. And I'm going to share at the end 5 different things that you get from accomplishing a project, because the goal of this summit is to have a transformation of a concept into reality just for the fuck's sake of it. And so you're going to hear many different ways you can do that. And I want you to know this is just for your own self. Whatever else you take, whatever else you do, whatever else you put this item, this creation, is up to you. So we're all problem solvers, and a piece of art, a creative something, is here to give you ways to express it. It's taking your passion and creating it. And it could be a meal, by the way. Anything is creative. You can create wealth. And a lot of times, creativity comes from the darkness because that's when we feel the most. Creativity is really tied in. Oh, hello. Good. I'm so glad you're here. Wow. Hello, Hazel. It is very late in the UK, and you had a very clear intention to be here, and you made it happen. Great. Thank you for letting me know. And Jade is here. And hello, Sandra. I'm so glad. So I'm here speaking to all of our creative brains and all of the super goddesses in us and all of the enchantresses that have wild ideas. And the only thing necessary in wild ideas is to make the decision. Am I going to create something, or am I going to be on the sidelines and watch me like I'm the show? No, this is not the Shane Show. You can be entertained by me, but this is about creating something. And so if you don't know who I am, I'm Enchantress Shane. I guide sensitive and magical people to their unknown spaces, right? It could be business, relationship, creativity, or some unknown space where confidence is needed to like get in there. And I use a lot of unconventional ways. And something that came up today on a session with Susan, who's our teacher on Wednesday, she said, "Oh, it's meaningful play." And I said, "Yes." So whether it's a performance, a book, a poem, a painting, music, a designed room, a meal, it doesn't matter. It's for you to pick one thing to do this week. I'll say one or more, but it's going to be finished on Friday. Here's the cool thing. Well, I'll share more about these later, but the cool thing is when we're productive enough to finish something, it leaks into other areas of our life. Yay! So if you have something, and everybody does, that they're like, oh my God, I didn't finish that thing yet. It's like, well, if you do this, that energy of completion will leak into the other place in the most beautiful way. So I'm so glad you're here live, Hazel and Jade and Sandra. Yes, oh my goodness, and Joanna. Amazing. Oh, if we were all in the same room, what would be amazing. So let's give ourselves space. So whether you're driving or sitting or laying in bed, I'm going to take you through a short journey, and it's to get your mind in the right place. I shared a bunch of stuff just now. So give yourself permission to just stretch a little bit. Like maybe raise your arms up, like open your shoulders, dust off your chest. Give yourself an ear massage, which feels good anytime. So just like squeeze your earlobes, put your finger, not inside, but just like round and around. Take a breath. And I'm going to pull a card. I was so excited to start today that I'm like, breathy, I'm out of breath. There's my passion, is helping others ignite their own passion. So let's take a couple of breaths and make some sound. So it'll sound like this. Let yourself be loose. And I'm going to flip around the cards. Take 2 more breaths. You're coloring your hair tonight. So creative. Yay. I love all the comments so far. Feel free to speak up, use your voice. I'm going to pull a card that will bring us for the week of this Sacred Society Summit. What card do we need that's in our most pleasure for me to pull before I take us on this journey inward? Ooh. Benzi Zen, she's the goddess of beauty. How gorgeous is she? So I'm just going to look at what the book says. Out of curiosity, she's number 6. And let's see. Okay, I'm going to incorporate her into the journey. How about that? Okay, here we go. I know this is already going to be perfect. So if it's safe, if you're not driving, I invite you to close your eyes and let your body be boneless. See if you can feel mushy. You are at your most lovely when you're being yourself. This Japanese goddess of beauty, Benzai Ten, is here to remind you that knowing, accepting, and honoring yourself in this physical body requires self-care. Now is the time to support yourself by surrounding yourself with beauty and choosing to see its power in all aspects of your life. So letting your body breathe you as you wish, I want to invite in your little girl self. I want to invite in your teenager self. They are welcome here. Their ideas are welcome here. And I want you to picture a cool, sacred, cozy little space, kind of like a space under the stairs. And you have a pillow there, and maybe there's blankets or a carpet. And this is your space to go to feel safe, to feel cozy, and to feel and allow your daydreamer self to come alive. And so maybe there's a little light so you can see your hand in front of your face, but just picture that this place under the stairs is a place where you get to say and draw and create whatever you want. Maybe you think about yourself flying, or maybe you think about yourself floating in the ocean with mermaids. Or maybe there's monsters and robots that are really your friends. Maybe there are creatures with wings. And really visualizing your perfect creation space. Release the muscles of your belly. And start to visualize a little village. Does this village have a name? Are there flowers and trees, or is it stark? Is it a desert? Picture a place in nature. And almost like you're flicking on a light, or maybe a flashlight, turn on your imagination. The button in your mind that is an imagination button. And start to look around in your imagination. And so maybe you're still in the place of nature, or you've wandered off, or maybe you floated up, or maybe you sunk down. But just envision, what is your location? What do you see? What do you smell? If you look up in your imagination, what does that look like? If you look down in your imagination, what does that look like? And then if you turn to the right in your imagination, what does that look like? And then when you turn your head to the left, you see stairs in your imagination. And you decide if you're going up or down. What kind of stairs do you see? And just let your mind be free with what you see next. Where is your imagination taking you? If you chose to go up the stairs, what do you see there? And if you chose to go down the stairs, what do you see there? Exploring all areas in your imagination, in the part of your brain that dreams fantastical, beyond reality, beyond the logic, the land of logic. I love that. And if you see anybody there, who's there with you? And what do they have to offer you? Are they just standing there? Are they dancing? Are they walking? And you might ask that person or that figure, what are we imagining? and collect all the information about the visuals and the feelings and the smells that you can from visiting your imagination. And maybe as you're visualizing yourself, you're taking notes in your imagination. Maybe you're writing with a feather. Maybe you're writing in the air. Maybe you're writing with a flower. And we're going to stay in this imagination part. So you're going to look back and notice the stairs. But when you're ready, I invite you to open your eyes. You can gently blink your eyes open if they're closed. And since we're still in this fantastical place, I invite you to jot down anything and everything that comes to you as you put your pen to paper. And that is going to be part of your intention, is to use this as a baseline of whatever you're going to create this week. And if you're watching this on the replay, I really want you to take time so you can pause this. And if you're watching it live, you can go back and listen to this part and then pause it and write down all the things that came to you. Maybe you can draw them, whatever you need to write down. And I want to bring attention to an energy that is our main source for this recipe of creation, of this summit of transforming an idea and a concept into a real thing, which is anticipation energy. The anticipation that today the summit was going to start, the anticipation of like, what am I going to make? The anticipation of pressure that creates pressure. And to feel that anticipation is so healthy. Let's not call it anxiety. That's bullshit. Let's call it anticipation. So the people creating it have anticipation. The people who are going to see it have anticipation. If you think about a rock star, like Stevie Nicks just announced her concert in New York, which she wasn't putting out for a long time. I'm already anticipating it. I know her songs. I'm excited to see her. She knows her music. She has her own anticipation of it. So that energy is fierce. It keeps us going. It can also stop you from operating. So we're going to use that anticipation energy. It's the hope that your passion is going to be seen and understood and visualized so other people can see it. Not to judge it, just for accountability. Remember, we're doing this for ourselves. Okay, so I want you to understand that we're not labeling ourselves as any kind of, I love it, I love it. Oh my goodness, yes. And please, I didn't say it already, but feel free to share anything that's coming up that you want noticed here. And if you're a quick typer and you don't have paper, go ahead, rock it out on this comment section. So I don't want you to label yourself, I'm a painter, I'm a writer, I'm a designer, I'm an actor. I want you to call yourself a creative. If you need a more firm term, like I have a client that went to art school and I know she might not say creative, what I would say is give yourself the title multimedia artist. And here's why. When you box yourself into something, you're going to give credit to the part of you that might call yourself a scatterbrain. And people who are clueless might be like, oh, now you're a painter? I thought you were a writer. Oh, now you're an actor? I thought you were a poet. Those people are living in a different world. So if you say multimedia artist, now you have freedom to do whatever you want. And you can always change your mind. And it's kind of a bullshit term. and then you get to deny the shitty askers. Like, making it vague is so important. So I want to also be aware that there are a lot of women. As women, we often get a little sidetracked by Little Miss Perfectionist. So since we're still in our imagination, I want us to start putting pen to paper. I want you to draw. And if you don't know how to draw, the best tip I can give you is get tracing paper. Go on Amazon. It's like probably under $10. Order yourself tracing paper. Open up some magazine or open up a book that you already have and just start to trace and start to train your hand to make lines and squiggles and whatever else. Oh, I love it. Digital creator, public figure have been my two favorites. Great. It's great. Find a term that means fucking nothing, basically. Just so that you and your ego have enough freedom. So, when I say draw, that does not mean make a human, make a stick figure. It could mean like, rah! It could mean a face. It could mean an eyeball. It could mean just tracing your fingers. Whatever perfectionist means to you, put something on paper to remind yourself she exists. It's okay. She does not get to make decisions here. All right. And at the end, I'm going to tell you what the rest of our week here looks like. So make sure you watch the whole thing. Okay. So here's 5 different things that you get from finishing a project that I wrote them down because there were so many. When you finish a project, and that's what our goal is here, is to do at least one thing and work on it a little bit every day. Even if you work on it for 15 minutes, it does not matter. And it could stem from your imagination. And we're going to close that out before I tell you about the rest of the week. So the first thing is a sense of accomplishment. When you finish anything, as women, we are indoctrinated into society to feel bad if we have many projects going. Cut that out. Let's take out the ninja. We haven't seen him in a while. Cut out any guilt, shame, worry, or fear about not finishing a project. We're finishing the whole project this Friday. And the truth is, you could write a poem, then you can decorate the page. You can then add a bio. Like, there's always more to do, but basically you're going to finish one thing. I hope that's clear by now. So having a sense of accomplishment is great because that is where motivation comes from. Motivation doesn't come, not always, you can't count on it, to get you started. You got to do the thing, push the thing, start the thing, and the motivation comes when you finish. So I'm so glad you're all here because regardless, you showed up. That is amazing. You made this a priority. And especially for Hazel, who's in London, who I think it's 1 a.m. Probably 1:27. I do that. When I have people, leaders in Australia, it's 5 in the morning, 3 in the morning. I'm like, rah. You commit. So I love it. Great work. The second thing is you get improved skills. So let's talk about the tracing paper where you're tracing lines and curves and all kinds of things. And then all of a sudden, your eye-hand coordination is now a little bit different because you're using tracing paper. It's fantastic and it's old, right? Tracing paper is not new. And when you have the knowledge and the wisdom and the expertise, now you feel good about yourself. Now you'll be open when people are like, ooh, do you know anybody that does A, B, and C, whatever it is? You're going to be like, oh, wow, I have a skill. And it can lend itself to the skills you already have. Or it can make you want to work on your skills. But basically, you're going to get a skill out of this because you're completing it. So in your digestion, you're going to be reviewing, oh, here's what I did. I did this. And then I did this, but most people forget that there's a very nitty-gritty process. They're like, I don't know, I did a bunch of things and then I did it. It's like, no, wait a minute. What did you do? A great example, I'll tell you this story. So I had signed up for this big expensive retreat, and I had to borrow the money at the time. And so somebody said, where did you get the money from? And part of me was like, oh, I just asked my. And then the woman said, but was it easy to ask? What did you do to get ready for it? I said, oh, you know what? That's interesting. And then I remembered what I did. I laid on the floor with my arms out. I cried because I hated asking for money. I looked at my phone. I put it down. I rolled around, and then I made the phone call. And I walked as I made the phone call. There's a process. You might have a process of being so mean to yourself. Oh, not that bad. 11 p.m. Okay, great. Yes, multimedia. You're definitely a multimedia artist. Oh, great. Susan's here. Susan's going to be teaching the bold, authentic writing class Wednesday night. So when you have knowledge, skills, and wisdom, now you're a commodity. You're like, I'm a multimedia artist. What do you work with? Tracing paper. Oh. You know what I mean? So like, use the material and then claim it, because nobody really knows. But when you have the conviction, they're like, oh, a tracing paper multimedia artist. Cool. It's just about you owning it, right? I'll just say just. But, okay, the number 3 thing. So first we have a sense of accomplishment. The second thing is improved skills. The third thing is having productivity in your life really boosts your self-esteem. Because how many to-do lists do we all have that are not finished? And there's things on them that are a long process. It's not like, oh, I could just do this overnight. But when you have some completion in something, in creating a piece or whatever it is, you're like, oh, fuck, I finished the thing. Boom. You take it from your, what did I call it? Oh, your nebulous, abstract thought into a piece. And now you're presenting it. That makes it real. That is beautiful for the ego. And it also gives you productivity muscles. We need that. We need our productivity muscles. Okay, the fourth thing finishing a project gives you is fulfillment. There are so many people I have calls with that do or don't work with me, and they say a million different words, but really what they're looking for is fulfillment. They want to feel full. They want to feel meaningful. They want to feel like I have a purpose and I'm getting it done, and here it is. Boom. Can I hold it? Yes. Can I read it? Can I share about it? And you know what? Your process might be, you're really hard on yourself and you beat yourself up. So here's the thing. If that is your process, just own it. Be like, you know what? I'm fucking hard on myself. Whether it's working for someone else or working for myself, I put myself through the ringer. But at least I plan a massage. At least I have a dinner for myself. Like, if you're hard on yourself, don't try to change that in order to finish something. Just know you just suck at that, about being nice to yourself. Hopefully, someday, it will change. Think about how many artists have committed suicide. Think of how many artists are hard on themselves. They never give themselves pleasure. They're always like disgruntled. That's their process. We can't change it. They're not going to change it. Okay, and the fifth best thing about completing a project is, it's my favorite one. Well, I don't know about favorite. It sparks more creativity. And when you have more creativity sparked, now it's totally limitless. So yes, exactly, Joanna, celebrating in the completion no matter what. So if you're a person that's always hard on themselves, what I want to, say to you is, well, make shitty art. That usually goes hand in hand with people that are hard on themselves. Like, make something that sucks. You know, like, give it to yourself. Like, make something that sucks so bad that you don't even care anymore, and you're just doing it so that you can be like, I did it. Good. That's part of your process. Okay. Amazing. All right, so anybody want to share anything while we're in our imagination? This feels so good. All right, so to bring this portion to a close, and then I'll explain the rest of the week. Take a deep breath in and go back into your space. Close your eyes. And if you're just joining now, just know that we went into a sacred space of our brain, the imagination space. And before we go up or down the steps, I want you to turn your head to the right with your eyes closed and look in your imagination over there. And then look down in your imagination space. And look up in your imagination space and notice if anything else has come up in your imagination that has, there's no word limit. And then in your imagination, look to the left and see the very familiar staircase. And if you went up the staircase, now it's time to go down. And if you went down the staircase, now it's time to go up. And then go back through that place in nature that you started out with. And notice if you're skipping or jumping or slithering or walking or flying. And then with your eyes still closed, envision yourself in this space under the stairs where there's a little dim light and soft, beautiful carpet or blankets. Where you, your inner child, and your inner teenager feel so safe to dream, create, daydream, snooze. Just give your body a stretch with your eyes closed. You've been sitting in this little creation space for a while under the stairs, so give yourself permission to wiggle around before you get out. And take a deep breath, and before you open your eyes, just put a little smile on your face, like knowing that you have this little cave under the stairs to go and create. Maybe there's a screen, like a white pull down screen where you can watch things. And you have all the crayons and markers and glitter and pencil and glue and a typewriter and string and collage materials. But mostly what matters is your space and nobody else comes in there. And then gently blink your eyes open if they're not already open. And I want to give a special thanks to this goddess, Benzai 10, who's the goddess of beauty. And I'd love for you to share. I love it. Joanna shared. In the visualization, I had a huge reception celebration for me being the multifaceted self I am. Amazing. And Hazel said, well, I got something in the visualization about a bridge between roses and the universe. Haven't got a clue, but going to play with that. Amazing. Ooh, I love that. And I want you to know this is real. Like when we open up our creative parts of our brain, real things emerge. And sometimes it's the thing that you actually create or it guides you somewhere else. Be open to all of it, but you got to start somewhere. So I love that you both shared that. And you'll have this on the replay so everybody can listen to it. I'll see if I can find what time the journey start. Listen to the whole thing again, let it play, but set yourself up. I'm really trying to have this every day will be under 45 minutes. Okay, let's just talk about that. So everybody who comes live is coming on their own at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow, you're going to have the Frequency Fairy, and she's going to be teaching meditation, mandala, or meditative art. So that's happening tomorrow at 6 p.m. Wednesday, Susan is going to be teaching a bold, authentic writing class, master class. Thursday is Mindy, and she's bringing in movement and mindset. And then Friday, we have a special guest to this coven named Melissa, and she leads currently a creative creative accountability classes, programs. So she's gonna like bring us home so that we finish the shit we start. And she's gonna address questions, and it's gonna be like, she's gonna give us time to work on the piece and complete it. That's what's happening Friday. And then Friday night at 9 p.m., which I know Hazel's going to be late for you, so maybe we'll do it on, I can't do it Saturday. Anyway, it's plans for 9 o'clock, or just to come live and show up with what you have created. We're going to have a show and tell. So for every night this week at 6 p.m., somebody's going to be coming here live, and they're going to be leading you in a master class. Take their guidance. Don't let it just play while you're like doing something else. Come and do the master classes. They're really amazing, and these teachers, leaders are really powerful, and they're all strutting the stage somewhere in the world. And then at the last day or during the week, I'm going to come live in the daytime and just sort of chat with everybody and see what everybody's up to, and keep the fire rolling. And I'll introduce the guest in the daytime so that by the time they come on live, you'll know some about them. All right, so that's it. That's all. And everyone's going to be 45 minutes and under so that everybody has good attention spans. If you haven't invited some sisters, I encourage you to invite some sisters into this summit. And I'm going to put day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 so that everybody can follow along at their own time and place. And yeah, and if there are any questions from those of you amazing women who are showing up live, or if you're watching on the replay, if you have any questions, place them here. I'm going to stay focused in, and I'll answer them. And this is all a part of my unconventional icon method. And so at some point, I'm going to be making an offer about how to work with me. I have a special offer coming up that is great for anyone that wants to push away the little girl and like push away the teenager, and the unconventional icon method invites them in, asks for their wisdom. So if you feel stuck, resistance, if you feel like I'm too fat, I'm too old, I'm too cruddy, or I just don't know what to do next, Shane, I feel stagnant and I feel like I'm spinning my wheels, I'll be making you an offer, and I'll like you even if you say no. So I'm going to sign off. We're almost at 40 minutes. Thank you so much for all of you for showing up. I have Trust Club tonight, so I will see you there, a couple of you. Or just one of you. Yes, I'm so glad, Hazel. I'm so glad you made the intention to be here. So don't wait for 6 o'clock. If you got creativity coming out the wazoo, work with it. Play with it. All right, everyone. Mwah. Lots of love, and I will see you soon. Bye.